Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters, your Magic the Gathering source that helps you command your budget. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. What a day it has been for spoiler season. I mean, this is just day 2, and we have gotten some really exciting things. I mean, this day started off with the Beamtown Bullies, and this commander is so very, very mean. I mean, talking about making someone lose their entire library mean very easily, or skipping 2 turns very easily, so yeah, make sure you check out that episode to see what I'm talking about. And yes, make sure you also check out my most recent episode that highlights certain cards that you might want to pick up right now if you're interested in some of these commanders, because, well, when a new commander is spoiled and there are certain cards that work very well with it, those cards tend to increase in demand, or I guess I should say the demand for those cards tend to increase. So make sure you check out that episode at some point. But not before you check out this episode, which you already, I guess, are doing. Hi, how's it going on Parnesse? And my apologies, I'm probably mispronouncing this. Parnesse the Subtle Brush? Let's go with that. And of course, make sure that you blame Eddie, because we always blame Eddie, right? That's just what we do on this channel. Anyways. So, first up with this commander, the image that we do have for it is actually very teeny tiny. It's actually on the back of the box for the Maestro deck, I believe. But yeah, with MTG.design, a fantastic website, I was able to make a custom card version of this, so here we go. She's a 4/4 Vampire Wizard for 2 blue, black, red, and she has whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless that player pays for life. On top of that, whenever you copy a spell, up to 1 target opponent may also copy that spell. They may choose new targets for the copy. This commander is one that I think a lot of players are going to be very excited about, including, and I bet based on the thumbnail and the title you were thinking me, yes, I mean, it's a very exciting commander, but actually, this is definitely a commander that is right up Eddie's alley. Now, obviously, you can build commanders in different ways, but yeah, this commander is obviously able to wheel and deal and politic with players in some fantastic ways. Whenever you copy a spell, you can be like, hey, I'll do you a favor by letting you also cast this spell, but you gotta do me a favor now too. So yeah, the word subtle on this commander is definitely on point. You are going to want to try to push opponents to doing what you want to do by giving them small benefits to actually kind of lead to this grander plan where you end up winning the game. And with that politicking, obviously, you know, there's a big deterrent from your opponents ever targeting your things or even you with their abilities or spells, because if they do, they've got to pay life or that is countered. So yeah, if you're giving out those copies of spells, it's going to be very difficult for them to, well, I mean, first up, you're probably just going to have to make the deal, you know, to be like, you can't target my stuff with this, number 1. Number 2, they probably wouldn't anyways, because it's going to cost them life to do so. And then they probably wouldn't get any more free spells from you, too. So yeah, I can definitely foresee the future where I play against Eddie, and Eddie's got this deck, and I think I'm doing very well. And then all of a sudden, yeah, the rug gets pulled out from under me. So for all of us playing against this commander, let's be careful on what deals we are making. That being said, the day is wrapping up, so let's quickly go through some cards that can work well with this brand new exciting politic commander that deals with copying spells as well and not getting things targeted. Anyways. Of course, you're going to want to include cards that, go figure, copy spells, like things like, you know, Increasing Vengeance and Narset's Reversal. Increasing Vengeance says, copy target instant sorcery spell you control. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, copy that spell twice instead. You may choose targets for the copy. So, yeah, when you're copying this either once or twice, you obviously can then dish out the favor to an opponent. Be like, okay, I copied this, let's say a Fact or Fiction. That's some good card advantage. Now, I can give you a copy of that, but what are you going to do for me for that? Or again, with a targeted removal card, you know, maybe you've got like a Terminate that you're copying. Great. I'm going to take out a creature. All right, I'll copy this and give you a copy of it, but you're not targeting any of my creatures, so take something else out. So wheel and deal in that way. And then, of course, there's something like Narset's Reversal that can be a fantastic way to just basically get a copy and the card back. It says, copy target instant sorcery spell, then return to its owner's hand. You may choose targets for the copy. So obviously, you can bounce one of your own spells back if you just want to do it in that way. Or, you know, you can basically say, hey, opponent, let's hold off on your spell. I'm going to copy it right now to get it myself. You get this back, but I get the copy. And then, you know, maybe I'll give it to another one of your opponents to also copy and use against you. Moving on, some other cards that you can actually utilize are ones that probably inspired what this commander was built to do with the Demonstrate mechanic, with cards like Creative Technique, Incarnation Technique, and Replication Technique. Demonstrate basically means that when you cast a spell, you can copy it. If you do, you choose an opponent to also copy it. So, yeah, I mean, you can basically say, alright opponent, I will let you copy this, basically twice now with my commander. So, yeah, they better be giving you some pretty big favors for this. Creative Technique says, shuffle your library, then reveal cards to the top until you reveal a non-land card. Exile that card from the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. You may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. Incarnation Technique says, mill 5 cards and return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And Replication Technique says, create a token that's a copy of target permanent you control. So, yeah, again, with these spells that essentially auto-copy themselves, you can dish out extra value for your opponents for some favors. And obviously get, you know, a bunch of value yourself just for copying these. Next up, of course, some enchantments that come in really handy for this kind of a commander are ones like Double Vision, Swarm Intelligence, and Thousand Year Storm. Double Vision says, whenever you cast your first instant sorcery spell each turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. And then Swarm Intelligence just does this, but for all your instants and sorceries. So yeah, that's double the value on every single one of your instant sorceries. And then on top of that, obviously, it gives you the option to dish out copies as well to your opponents if you really want to. And again, you can get a lot of favors once you have something like this in play to dish out those spells. And speaking of a lot of value and a lot of favors, well, there's Thousand Year Storm, which says, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant sorcery spell you've cast before it this turn. You may choose targets for the copies. So essentially, when you're casting spell after spell after spell, you are just making more and more and more value. And again, you've got more things to dish out to your opponents if you want to. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to actually dish out that copy, or should I say a copy of a copy to an opponent. It does say up to one target opponent may also copy the spell, so don't feel like you have to, but if you can make the deal to make it work, do so. And of course, I could go on and on in this color combination with cards that, you know, can help copy, but some other ones I will highlight really quick, though, are Pyromancer's Goggles and Melik Izzet Paragon. Pyromancer's Goggle is going to tap for a red, and it says, when that mana is spent to cast a red instant sorcery spell, copy that spell. You need to choose targets for the copy. So this one is a mana rock that is a little more specific on what you can copy, but also, I mean, it's providing value in multiple ways for you, and also providing value again if you are able to make a deal with an opponent by giving them a copy as well. And speaking of value, though, there's Melik Izzet Paragon, which says, play the top card of your library revealed. You may cast instant sorcery spells from the top of your library. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell from your library, copy, may choose targets for the copy. So this gives us some extra value by essentially being a future sight for the top of our library, letting us cast the top card as long as it's instant sorcery, and when we do, we copy that spell. So we get additional value with that copy, and again, we can wheel and deal. So yeah, with Melik in play, you can get a lot of value out of this. And of course, with all this copying of spells, well, Twinning Staff can come in a fantastic way. It says if you would copy a spell one or more times, instead copy it that many times plus an additional time. You may choose new targets for the additional copy, and of course by paying 7 and tapping it, we can copy an instant or sorcery spell we control and choose new targets for the copy. So this adds an overabundance of even more copies that of course we're getting extra value from, and again we can dish out to our opponents for some deals. And obviously if we've got the mana for it, we can activate to copy things even further for even more value. But yeah, now as this episode is coming to a close, it's time for me to give you my final thoughts on this commander. I think there are going to be a lot of commander players out there that are going to be really excited about this. I mean, it's kind of like a new kind of politic commander, like a Queen Marchesa, but in a different way. Being able to copy spells for some extra value by giving them to your opponents again, you can have other people kind of do your dirty work for you. Again, with that kind of Terminate example, all right, I've got a copy of Terminate, so I'm getting rid of 2 things. But yeah, now, who can I give this other copy of Terminate to get rid of 1 more thing? So it's kind of like an additional free copy that you kind of can, you know, pick and choose how that works, or at the very least, you know, get a deal out of it so that an opponent is kind of indebted to you. So yeah, I definitely see in my future at some point playing against this commander, because I can probably guarantee that Eddie is going to build it and probably out-politic me in a game, and yes, I will probably make some pretty bad deals, as usual. And with that, the show is coming to a close, so it's my turn to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts on this episode are, and as always, thanks again and have a good one.